are good things. You started your company Wormhole pretty much from scratch,
Yeah.
as we heard. How did you come up with the concept?
Well, at the time I was 24, I think, or 23. I was at school. And well, my father had just died. My mom was sick. I'm an only child. So I had to pay for the bills at home. It wasn't just, working for fun while studying and, to pay going out or go with friends and stuff like that, or the books. I had to maintain a family. And I remember I was working as a trainee on an oil company, and while doing that, a friend of mine, which in fact became one of the co-founders of Wormhole, he told me, Sally, you are looking for an extra job because I saw they are hiring people from Latin America with good English or French level to give lectures to students in the US and help them with their homework. So I said, yeah, why not? Let's try it out. For all the exams. I passed them, and after that they told me, well, you are able to start teaching. It's not teaching exactly, but mentoring with the homework. It was science, chemistry, math, and biology, I think. And it was just a crappy chat. Imagine we are talking about almost 15 years ago or so. I think iPhone wasn't there already. Skype didn't exist. So we were in a very, very long time ago. And it was just writing down questions and trying to help someone to do the homework. And for me, it was almost impossible to teach how to build or do an equation over, online. It was insane. And I
So
thought,
just for me to understand, so it wasn't even a video, it was just a chat room?
chat room, no
Oh,
video, no
wow.
microphone, nothing,
Oh,
just a
okay.
chat. So someone popped up and said, "Hello, Sally, I need help with this equation," and it was, I don't know,
Okay.
the line equation, and you have to explain how to solve that by
Yeah.
typing. It was
Of
impossible.
course.
So
It
I
must
thought,
have
no,
almost felt like you were talking to a chatbot or something. Is there
exactly,
even
and
another
you
person
never
at the
knew.
end?
It was for me, it was terrible that I didn't know if it was someone there or not, or if
Yeah.
someone, I don't know, people coming and saying I'm Cassandra, and I should trust that that person was Cassandra
Yeah.
because honestly I didn't know. So what happened is that I thought this is not working, this is crap. But anyway, I need the money, so I won't say a thing.
Mm.
But I started thinking. I remember, discussing with one of my partners today and saying, what if we can actually build something specifically conceived for educational purposes? Because a chat, I mean, we have technology there, everything has evolved a lot, but not education. And
Mm.
education is not taking advantage of all the
Mm.
unlimited possibilities that technology can bring to table. And on top of that, being on a chat is not a way to learn. You learn from discussions, you learn from sharing ideas with others, you learn from working in group, you learn from talking, you learn from different ways. And in fact, if I just, sit down and read something, probably I will remember less than 5% of what I'm reading. So
Mm.
the way to learn is by doing. And I thought, what if we can, in a way, I would say, replicate the way that people learn in the real life, but online.
Mm.
So way before the pandemics, way before Meet, Zoom, etc., we
Yeah.
built this room or virtual room in where people could talk to each other, working groups, have a whiteboard to share documents and information and write down, type, record the session and have all the information and behave the most similar way of what they used to when they were at school. And with that, I convinced them, that was a prototype, and I convinced them to start with different business plan competitions and tech competitions, a group of friends. And we went Argentina, we went Latin America, they took us to Korea. And after the finals, we decided to quit our jobs and start doing Wormhole for real. And
And now
after
you're
14,
here.
here we are.
What were their
Well,
main? Sorry?
it wasn't that bad. I mean, the whole journey. I mean, I like it.
I'm sure it wasn't. It must have been a wild ride. What were the main obstacles you had to overcome?
Well, a lot of them, but
Mm,
I think the first thing to build a company, at least in Latin America, and now it has changed a little bit, but at the time was not having any support, not
mm,
only economical support, but being an entrepreneur was something that it wasn't good for it because it was in our culture it wasn't correct. Why? Because our parents grew up and made all of their to school, then to go to a big corporation and have a very stable and traditional job,
mm.
and maybe by your 30s doing an MBA, and then marry, have two kids, and the house on the countryside, and two nice little dogs. The truth is that when you tell people, I'm not doing anything of that, I'm just going to follow a completely different path,
Yeah.
they panic. So
Oh.
I remember telling, my friends and my family, okay, I'm gonna do this, and people thought I became some sort of a hippie. It was the same of telling them, I don't know, I'm gonna live under the bridge and build next. It was like that.
So your parents must have been very concerned.
Yeah, so after several years when we started showing on different newspapers or interviews or whatever, it's like, oh, look, she's a businesswoman now. But at the time, I was a hippie. That's the truth. So I think support is one of the things. Then you struggle a lot to have some money to start. So what we did is what now we know the term it's bootstrapping. At the time for us was just doing whatever we have to do in order to make it happen. So that means that two of us quit our two of us quit our job. The other two we stayed where we were working for, and we split the money we were making among the four of us each month
Yeah.
just to survive, while one was finishing the first commercial version, the other was developing and coding for food, as we
Mhm.
say. And yeah, we still laugh. And even if people couldn't pay us, we exchange our work for things. So, for example, here at the office, we have a fridge that was exchanged for a website.
That is a
We
good
did whatever
switch.
we had to make it happen. And so after several years, when you are conscious about building a company with no financial support, also with no emotional support, you start, developing different friends as well because related to people that are on the same boat. And you discover that in fact you are not alone, that there's a lot of people trying to build their own companies and build their own tech startups all over the world, not just
Yeah.
in Argentina or Latin. And you like communities like this one, like the Argonauts. So it's really important to me because you have someone else on the other side of the world to discuss with, to share, to learn from that person. And I think that that's pretty important.
So if you would have founded your company today, or even let's say 9 to 10 years later, do you think the support structure around you would have been different or better even?
Yeah, completely different from 20 years ago or 15 years ago because the society has evolved a lot.
Mm.
And now being an entrepreneur is something cool,
Yeah.
something accepted, something, wow, you are the next generation. You are,
Yeah.
on the top of the wave. But before it was something like terrible. So I think that it will be completely different. Now you have incubators, you have angel capital, you have venture firms. There's a lot of things that were developed that didn't exist at the time. So
Mm.
I'm guessing that it will be different.
Yeah. So as you said, you're based in Argentina. When
Yeah.
I think about the country, I think about strong families, warm, welcoming people, a very rich and complex and also very exciting culture. I also think of machismo, but especially
Yeah.
because in the last 2 or 3 years, feminist education and work on that matter got worldwide attention. From your experience, Do patriarchal structures still play some kind of role in Argentina's business life? And if so, how does it?
I think so. Well, you say it or you name it. We are a country full of contradictions, which is good and bad at the same time. We are opinionated, we are stubborn, and that's an issue sometimes because since we are so strongly opinionated, sometimes we divide population and and we polarize everything, and it's a problem.
Mm,
But and we have also polarized this matter in terms of machism versus like yeah. So you still have a lot of people thinking that as a woman you cannot achieve certain things. It happened, and it will always happen. I think we have evolved, yes, but there's a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of room for improvement. We still have this like crystal ceiling in which it's pretty hard for a woman to achieve certain positions. We still have differences between the salary that a woman and a man make for the same job or position.
mm.
So we have evolved. We even have the first woman president, which
In
is
history.
part of the contradictions, but then we still have all these situations. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement. Personally, I always try to convert that disadvantage into an advantage, and
Mm,
don't let them push me to the position they want me to. Because when a man is treating you like, oh, you are in a minority position, then you are, if you let them, you are given that space to keep on doing the same thing.
mhm.
While if you said, no, you know what, I'm just like you,
Yeah,
share responsibilities, we will do it, the same. This is work, period. And you start not considering who that person or woman or whatever behind that, the job you have to do, then you earn some space.
yeah. How did you turn that into your advantage?
Well, I don't know if I have a formula, but I think that the first thing is not to consider yourself in a minor position
Mm,
or diminish it or that you cannot do it. Be confident. I think that the first thing is that I am pretty confident on myself and on what I'm capable of doing, and I understand all my like the bright side of my personality and the bad stuff as well. So I try to bring everything to table and say, okay, this is I'm good. I'm good at doing this. I'm not good at doing that. So I'll look for help, and I'm never scared of asking for help. Not to a woman, not to a man. I understand that it's part of the normal life, and then I think that it's not giving the other person the feeling that he or she can treat you in a bad way or put you in a like hard position. If someone says something to you that you don't like, you can always say, okay, that's it, and that's enough. I'm not gonna support this or that. And the more sarcasm you use on your answers, and you completely like shake them the world, then the better response you'll have. And if someone is so stupid that keeps on treating you like in a bad way or thinking that you're not capable of doing that, you kind of benefit from that. It's like, oh, I'm not capable of doing that, just do it for me, please. So you try the job to that person.
yeah.
That's it.
How did you get so confident? Confident? How did you get there?
I don't know. I think it's the way my parents m- like raised me. I'm an only child, as I said before, and my parents had me because they really want to have a baby when they were already, well, I would say, I wouldn't call them old, but grown-ups. They had me in their 40s, which wasn't that common at the time. And my mom always worked, and she decided to have me after her 40s because she was really willing to develop all her potential in her 30s.
Yeah.
So she since I'm a kid, I remember her telling me, "You always have the right to choose whatever you want to do with your life. Don't feel, that the pressure of the standards you need to fit in. You
Mm.
can, you know, do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to have kids, fine. If you don't like doing this or that, it's fine also. If you want to try something and then you don't like it and try something different from that, do it. So, and my father was the same. So I remember as a kid, I was like, oh, I like that car, and they just bought me a car because I like it, and they never told me, no, you're not supposed to play with a car because that's a boy toy, or I like a Barbie, and and if they could, they bought me the Barbie. So they let me explore and try different things, and give me all this confidence that I could try and experiment, and if I didn't like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And failure, it's part of life and it's fine.
Yeah.
No one will actually tell you anything as long as you put all of your heart on what you're doing. So I think that that was something that it's mind changing when you are a kid,
Yeah.
because you are not afraid of anything. You feel like a superhero.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also they just raised a leader. Let's say put it like that. They just raised a leader.
yeah, and I understood that when they were working, and then they have always the time to play with me, and what, even if they were too busy. So that's also good, because I could understand when they were working, it was because they were trying to provide a better future for me, and
Mm.
but they also had the time to spend with me, to listen to what happened to me, and spend time, share, etc.
Mm.
So it was really good.
Yeah. And that mindset helped you to be not afraid of the decision to found your own company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that when we started, there was I knew that I will be full of no's for answers.
Mm.
So we were just looking for the yes. Someone will actually say yes. So we were not scared of going out and sell what we built, and listening to people's feedback. I and understood that if someone said no, it's not because he or she thinks that you're stupid or that it's useless, is because it doesn't work for that particular person, but it might work for someone else. So the more they tell you no, the better for the solution, the better for living, and the better for your spirit. But it's up to you.
Hmm. From your experience, what are the main strategies and solutions for women to find or yeah, to find advance their causes?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. To buy what?
What are the main struggles women have, but also what are the solutions for women in Argentina, especially, to advance their causes, to go through to set a goal and just go through it.
Yeah, well, there are too many. And right now, with the pandemic, it's even worse, because we've been in lockdown for several months, sorry, not
Mm.
years.
Yeah.
And it started March last year for like full lockdown for 3 months or so. Then lockdown, going back. Now we are locked down again, and I think we're going to be again maybe in a couple of weeks from now. And the problem is that schools are closed.
Mm.
So in our culture, that's one of the machism things that are still out there.
Mm.
Women are supposed to grow kids. So if the kid has to be at school, then it's a mom responsibility to stay at school and do all the virtual things with him or her, or take care of the kids if they are too little. And
Mm.
that's an issue, because since someone needs to work and make money to support home, and there's still this ceiling in which in some cases men makes more money than women, then what happens is that women are in some cases quitting their jobs to stay at home to take care of their kids. And that, for me, it's outrageous, because you are putting behind all of your development and future, because someone made a decision of closing schools.
Yeah.
So I think that leaders need to consider these kind of things when taking or making decisions. It's not just, oh, I'm closing the school because it can't be a place where kids can get COVID or whatever. You need to think all the impact that that has on the, people's life, and in particular women. So now there are a lot of women are struggling a lot with this situation. So that's the first things you have to overcome right now. And then of course, overcome all the comments, oh, you are not good at that, or you are not supposed to do this or that because you are a woman. It still happens, and it's not among your friends, it's also among the people, that surrounds you, your family, or people at school, or people at work, or whatever. So I think that's one of the things I have to, or we have to consider. And then, as I said before, the more they tell you you cannot do it, that should be the trigger for you to try them wrong, to put them wrong, prove them wrong, say, you know what, you told me I couldn't,
Yeah.
look what I have.
Yeah.
And let's talk in a few years from now, and you'll see where I am and where you are. That's
Yeah,
what I
let's do
do.
that, please. Let us do that.
That's a 100% attitude with me.
So,
So,
do you think, where do you think would be the solution to that? Because it's, for me, it seems like it's a mixture of a societal problem, because every one of your friends and family expect you to stay home for or with your kid, and yeah, raise your kid and stay home with them. But also, is there a little bit of responsibility when it comes to leaders to tell their fathers in the
yeah.
company, you can go and stay home as well.
Well, I think it's a multi-level problem slash solution. But one of the things is to give the same opportunities to men and women at work in terms of paternity leave and maternity leave. I'm not familiar with the European law, but at least here in Latin America, Argentina, for example, it's you have 3 months covered by the government for maternity leave, but as a parent, you only have 2 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So guess who, or what happens? No one will say it out loud, but it's we all know it happens. Is that
Yeah.
in fact, if you need to hire someone and they are in the mid 30s, no kids yet, but married or whatever, and you have a man and a woman, same possibilities, even if the woman is really good at what she's doing, probably there will be some companies that won't hire her because they are thinking if she
Yeah.
got pregnant, she'll have 3 months maternity leave while the man will stay here even if he has a baby,
Yeah.
which is completely insane because, first of all, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, babies need both parents if
Yeah.
you decide to have it as a couple.
Yeah.
And the father is also responsible for sharing time with the kid. And so that's the first situation. Second situation you encounter is that we as women, we were in a way to think that we are responsible for taking care of kids and stuff like that. So we don't recognize that sometimes we reproduce the same thing with our kids.
Yeah.
So if we want to change eventually, we need to start changing the way we raise our kids in our families and force, and understand that the family is a decision made by a group of people and all are involved in developing and growing and raising the kids in the family,
Yeah.
which means that you let if a boy wants a baby doll, then you buy the baby doll, period, and you don't start asking questions, blah blah. It happened. This is a really funny situation. 2 months ago or so, maybe three. It was summertime. I went. My husband needed shoes. I needed shoes, and the kid needed shoes. So we went to a place we all like because have shoes for all kind of shoes and for summer shoes. And we went there, and the kid my son at the time was 2.5, goes straight kids area, and he choose one pair of shoes that are pink,
Yeah.
and he's white. So I remember the lady at the store saying to him, "Are you sure you want the pink? Look, are the good. These are the good ones. These are for boys. Those are for girls.
Oh.
If
Oh,
he likes
okay.
the pink, he will buy the pink." And
Yeah.
I'm agree with her. And the Julio was, Mommy, but I like the pink one with the animals. I like the pink. And he has his pink shoes because I didn't care. And I told the
Yeah.
lady that you think that pink is for
Yeah.
ladies or for girls. The truth is that pink is a color and it doesn't have sex. It
Yeah.
doesn't have a
True.
gender.
Yeah.
Period. It's a color. So
Yeah.
now he wears very proud his pink shoes.
Yeah. So now it's not just about living the example and showing your kid, okay, I'm working also. I'm your mom, but I'm also working. But it's also about showing your children that the choices they make are theirs to make, not yours. So if society
Exactly.
can tell you whatever they want, if they want to have pink shoes, they should have them.
Exactly, and we are full of prejudices. We
Mhm.
think something because you are supposed to behave in a certain way, and
Mhm.
when someone wants to break this, then you are different or you are wrong, or there's something wrong with you. And the truth
Mhm.
is that you can choose whatever you want to do or
Yeah.
whatever you want to be, and no one has the right to tell you what
Mhm.
to do. That's the thing. The more someone pointed at you and said something about you, the more he's talking about himself or
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
So
Just a quick reminder, we're approaching the last 30 minutes of our Q&A. It goes by so quickly. Just if you're watching right now, you can at any point drop in some questions in our chat room, as I'm seeing this is already happening. Very nice. And
cool.
also, in about 50 minutes, you can also join us live on stage. We briefly talked about in our prep meeting about this. As a female leader and a mother, do you feel some kind of societal pressure to talk about how you manage your family life?
Uh, yes, we do, or I do at least, but
Yeah.
not as a pressure, as something good.
Okay.
I used to feel it as a pressure because
Mhm.
I think I mentioned it to you yesterday that. You've never heard someone asking to, I don't know, Obama, so how it's about raising your kids?
Yes.
But they always ask
I think
Michelle
about
about
that.
it. So at a certain point, I wouldn't say upset. Why? And then I noticed that a lot of women introducing themselves as before saying, I'm this, I'm from that particular company or whatever, there's like, I'm a mother of two, I don't know, boys and
Mm,
girls. And
mm,
I was like, why it's so into our culture to say that so? And then I understood it was part of this society we are, living in which you are supposed to behave a certain way.
yeah.
But then I understood that my role was, in fact, when someone had the opportunity to ask me these kind of questions, to answer how I feel about it, which is, in fact, that I feel that, growing a kid is not what it defines me as a human being, as a person. I made a lot of decisions first, which are, in fact, go to school, work, build this company, do a lot of things I was passionate about, travel, etc. And when it was the right time of having a baby, I decided to have it because I knew I was choosing someone to have that baby that would share all the responsibilities with me. So it's not what defines me as a woman, but in fact, I have the opportunity now to show another human being inside this little that a different world can exist or can happen or can be developed
Yeah.
as a mother to train him that or show him that.
Hmm. I'm sure in many cases it would have been easier to not stand up for yourself when it comes to that matter. Why did you choose otherwise?
Um,
To be so forward with it that women don't have to talk about it, first of all, and, and but
No,
also
I
women,
understood that it
yeah,
was an opportunity to show a different answer. I
yeah,
understood that when someone was asking you that was for you the same with, sometimes it's like y- you are supposed to give the right answer about it.
mm,
Oh no, yeah, I love to have babies. I love it.
mm,
Sometimes people are expecting that.
yes,
So having the chance to shake them a little bit and say maybe, yeah, I love having a baby, but I also love that he has the chance to go to school and have friends and spend time by himself
Yeah.
and being independent,
Yeah.
because that's part of life too. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad mother. It's just that I also like to develop my personality and my brain and what I'm doing with the company and achieve different goals. And to
Yeah.
do so, you need time.
Yeah.
And you know, raise a kid, it's time consuming. So it's good to talk about it and
Yeah.
saying that it's responsibility that you need to share with the whole family. Not it's not on your shoulders only.
Yeah. I want to come back to your company. Wormhole was specifically created to solve typical problems in Latin America. What are those problems?
Well, first of all, we have a saying in which we said that God is everywhere, but it only answers the questions in Buenos Aires. Because you live outside the big city and you can't do a thing. Seriously, you want to learn, I don't know, Chinese, and it's a problem because you don't have, you know, a lot of places where to go. While in Buenos Aires, you have a gazillion. We are a really self-centered country. We said we are federal, but the truth is that everything happens in Buenos Aires. And my mom, she was a teacher in the countryside, in a small town in a province, 500, 400 kilometers away from Buenos Aires. And she was like language teacher, Spanish teacher, but then she had to teach math and science because there were no other teachers to do so.
Mhm.
And she hated it. And I remember her telling me, you know what, probably I will generate a trauma on these kids because I so much science learn with the passionate they should,
Yeah.
because not having someone passionate about it.
Mhm.
So the very first thing that came to my mind at that time was, if we enable technology, or we enable education through technology, then people from all over the country and all over the region will be able to learn wherever he wants at any time. And it doesn't matter if they live in a very, very small town or the largest city in the
Mhm.
zone, then they all have the same chances. And that's a way to democratize education.
Yes.
And for me, you know, having the chance to receive emails from people saying, well, thank you for your platform because we could discuss this and that, and now I'm a better professional. That's something that it's mind changing. It's a game changing experience, and I won't replace that for any money in the world.
Yeah.
We work a lot with medical associations, with doctors, and people from all over the world discuss cases, and you know, things that sometimes happens when they are treating a patient and they don't know what to do because they've never had such a situation. And being able to discuss that with professionals all over the world that face the same thing,
Mhm.
maybe or maybe not, but having the chance to discuss gives them an opportunity that is unique. So
Mhm.
clearly, what with our solution, we are not curing cancer, or we are not, you know, finishing the pandemic, but in a way we are giving them a chance to develop that.
Yeah.
So that's for me, it's game changing. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I don't care much about the money or whatever it is, you know, to leave legacy.
Yeah. So that is the most rewarding thing also about your work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. And
Yeah.
in a way, yeah, that and being able to give work opportunity to people, and that a lot of family live from what we built from scratch. That's for me, it's crazy. Sometimes I stop and say, wow, all these people are working here and they are making the living out of what we built out of nothing. So for me, that's also pretty inspiring.
Yeah. What could possibly be something we as Europeans or Americans even can learn from this Latin American perspective and vice versa?
That's a good question. I seriously don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that all the cultures have different challenges, and we all face our challenge. Um, Now with the pandemic, I think a lot of things emerge because on one hand, well, there's this fight for the vaccines, So rich countries like the US, UK, Europe have access to more vaccination than we do. And well, here it's getting better now, but the truth is that we are still behind. And that's an issue because that destroys economies and then pushes us in a worse position. And the poverty also hits a lot to women are the first to suffer from that, with kids, of course. And then, so I think that's one of the things. And on the other hand, Europe or the US are really evolved in a lot of things, but still need to maybe develop a little bit of that. I mean, one of the most machism situations I had to face was, in fact, in the US, not outside.
Wow, really?
And I didn't think it was like that. And
Yeah,
I was like, seriously? I thought that
yeah.
it was really bold. And it was, and maybe I thought it is related with the fact that I'm from Latin America. Maybe no, it was
Mhm.
extremely related to the fact of being a
Wow.
woman in business.
Yes,
So I think we all have our challenges to face.
of course. Yeah. Sally, we're approaching the last 15 minutes of
Wow,
our
that's
Q&A
not fast.
session. So I want to now open up the panel for every question that's coming in from the audience via the chat. But I want to remind you that you also have the opportunity to call in live here in our session and join us on stage. Um, I just want to do a quick reading of the chat room. I see a message, somebody saying, my boys wanted to try eye makeup and I put on the glitter on their eyes. Perfect. It isn't
Cool. That's the
very
way to go.
nice.
That's the way to go. Yeah, well, I don't know. There's a brand here, which is, in fact, is funny because it has my kid name, but in feminine, which is
Yeah.
Juliana or Julian.
Yeah.
And and it makes me so bad as a kid because it's like a small, tiny little bag,
Yeah.
and it's called Julian the teacher, Julian the I don't know the artist, Julian whatever, but it wasn't never Julian the engineer, Julian the
Mm.
doctor, Julian. It was
Oh,
always like uh, not a professional or not.
yeah.
I remember when I was 5 or 6 years old, it was the typical gift that someone gave you for your birthday.
Hmm.
I was so mad at my aunt or someone in the family when they brought me that. It's like, I want a car, I want to train, what is this? I don't like painting or doing that. So
Yeah.
I always, when I have to give lectures to kids about, following their dreams, I always put the example of that bag saying that it doesn't define you, so why not to do something different? And now the brand created Julian, which is the
Oh,
boys version.
perfect.
That's
And I see in the chat room, oh my God, my son is also called Jules. So it's a perfect coincidence. Sally, we received a question in advance to this Q&A. The question was, if you had to give one advice to a young woman, a female entrepreneur wanting to set foot in a man-dominated industry like the tech industry, what would that advice be?
well, maybe it's a cliche, but what I told her is you will face a lot of challenges. Probably you will have to prove yourself many, many, many times more than a man. Sometimes it'll happen to you that even if you know that you are better for a job or for what you are doing, they won't hear to you because you are a woman. It might happen. It had happened to me in the past. But what I tell her is that don't be disappointed. It's part of the entrepreneurial path. As an entrepreneur, men or women, you will face a lot of challenges. This is one more. So just don't give up. you will be frustrated for sure, you will be mad for sure, you will be like willing to destroy everything in front of you for sure, but that's an opportunity for you to prove them wrong, for you to show them that you can be even better than what they think. So don't just let them down. It's talking more about them than yourself. Do your best, and eventually time will show that you were the right person for a particular job or company or startup.
Mm. Also, that is very rewarding. I bet if you hear all the time somebody saying that you can't do something, and then
Yeah.
you achieve that goal that you set yourself, must be so yeah.
Yes. You have that feeling of being proud and I don't know,
Yeah,
but it's a mix of feelings, and it's perfect, at least to
yeah,
me.
great.
It's rewarding. Isn't the same when you sat for an exam that you've been studying like crazy for days because you don't understand a particular subject and you're struggling and you work, and after that you got an A or a 10 in our cases, and it's like you feel like yes, I can.
Yes, yes, that's the best feeling.
Exactly.
What are, Sally, what are your personal goals that you want to achieve in the next years, maybe? What's your mission with Wormhole?
Well, that's a good one. I think I have a lot of goals, because I'm always in the move. I can't be quiet and calm. If I'm always thinking, what's next and what should I do next, and I'm like that.
Yeah.
So I guess that a lot of things. One of the things is that I want Wormhole to have a larger impact, not
Mhm.
only in Latam, but maybe in other areas or regions across the world. So we are all focusing on, building that and growing our customer base outside the region. So one of the things will be that, because I'm one of the, you know, those persons that wants one day when I'm on my 80s, hopefully, I just, I would like to look back and say, wow, I'm really proud of what we built. Not because
Yeah.
of me, because it is in fact a legacy we are leaving behind us, and that it's making our family proud, and also our customers and our friends. So
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the goals on mindset we all have. And then what else? At the personal level, I think I have achieved all I wanted to. There's always, challenges and things you have to face, but I'm in a really good position right now.
Yeah. Is there some feature maybe that you're especially proud of that you achieved already?
Oh, weird. I don't know. I
Maybe in
guess.
personal development, because I feel like you were always this forceful woman who stood up for herself, and I'm wondering if there's something that you worked really hard on to achieve for
The,
yourself.
the thing is that yes, a lot of things, becoming an engineer, for example,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
those kind of things. I struggle a lot, and I made a lot of effort, but I try to live our life as on daily basis, understanding that you have to give 100% every day, so you'll be satisfied at the end of the day with all the decisions you've made and with all the things you are doing. So every time when I wake up in the morning, it's like today is going to be the day, even if
Mhm.
it's not the day, but I try to think it that way. So it's
Yeah.
not, I'm proud of everything I've achieved so far. I had to struggle a lot of difficult things, especially in the last few years. One of my co-founders got sick and died from leukemia, and we faced the disease together. You know, being with him at hospital, spending a lot of time together, and knowing that we were some maybe leaving behind our company for a while and put it on, like autopilot. But I don't regret a thing about those days. A similar situation happened with my mom, and I had to struggle because she needed a specific medication, and since it was crazy expensive, the social security didn't want to cover it, and I had
Mhm.
to go to justice and pay and and fight for her rights. and make things happen. So I don't regret a thing. I'm really proud because having done that actually gave me 2.5 years with her.
Hmm.
So those are the things that I think I'm proud of what I've
Yeah.
done so far.
What was driving you, especially in that time when everything around you was just so insecure and uncertain, but you went through it anyways. What was the force? What was the main focus you had?
Well, for sure, it's the ways they raised me. I remember as a young kid, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old, complaining about things, and my parents telling me, "Stop complaining,"
Mm.
because when you think that what you're facing is hard, there's people, just next to you suffering way more than what you do. So
Yeah.
stop complaining and embrace what you have. Try to, that frustration, turn it into something different. And that when I was 6 or 7 was even more frustrating. And my
Of course, I can imagine.
and you think, why? Instead of being supportive, you should say that I'm right and the other person is wrong. Why you're telling me this? But the truth is that I was really frustrated, maybe even at them. But then I understood, at a certain age, I understood, and I really appreciate that they raised me that way
Yeah.
because they made me understand that the world is not circling around you, that you are not in the
Mm.
center, and that you
Mm.
are part of a society, part of a group of people, part of a community, and we all suffer, we all have a lot of things. And what makes you stronger is, in fact, face those situations and overcome them. So
Mm.
I really, really appreciate that, and I try to teach this my kid.
Yeah. Is that also something you can put in the lectures of your company?
Yes, for sure. When someone comes and is like, "Oh no, because this and that, and maybe this customer told me," and it's like, "Okay, I've just listened to you, but you know what? That's not a problem. Go out and look for a real one." And I tell them, and my kind of joke is like, "That's first world problem. Go ahead."
That's
Go on with the answer. Okay, I understood your complaint. So what? What should I do with that? Is there any solution? No. Go back and come when you understood. And they know
Yeah.
so
That's
before
a grown-up
coming talking
head.
to me. Yeah, exactly. Before coming complaining with no solution or no proposal, they
Yeah.
think twice and then they'll go back, come back, and it's like, okay, I thought a little bit. I think this is the problem. This is the solution I proposed. What do you think? But complaining, it doesn't work. And
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you, but it won't. That's the thing.
Yeah. If I were to take a lesson with my company, as I understood, you are I could take a lesson from your company, right? Would that be
Yes.
something I could learn in the lecture? How to have that kind of mindset?
Yeah, I think so. I guess the first thing is when you are starting a company by yourself, you'll have to face a lot of situations. So being able
Yeah.
to discuss with other fellow entrepreneurs or a community or people that it's a little bit more experienced won't solve your problem, but at least will give you a framework. Because
Mhm.
when you will face that particular challenge, you will make your own decisions, you will live your own experience. But having, listened to someone before will give you some perspective. And I think that's one of the things you can learn from others. And
Yeah.
in particular, someone building a company in such a different way as we do, and in Latin
Yeah.
America with a different frame. So that's on one hand. And then I think that learn is resilience and empathy. That's one of
Mhm.
the things that kind of characterize our company and what we do. Because in
Yeah.
order to solve, you can help someone with their digital HR digital transformation problem by just giving technology, but that's not transforming anything. You are just
Mm.
putting technology on a problem, but not solving the problem per se. So
Mm.
one of the clue or key things we do is, in fact, listening to people, understanding their problems, understanding what they are facing, and from that trying to build something together. Technology goes
Mm.
on a second place. The first thing is to listen and to learn from others. And I think that's one of the keys of our success.
Yeah, great. Sally, we already received the end of our Q&A session. The time flew by. It was so interesting
I'm
and
so
joyful to talk to you. Thank
I
you,
could stay here
everybody.
for the whole day.
Okay, we can do another Q&A. I would be glad.
I really love this.
Me too. Me too. I hope everybody who's watching right now enjoyed this too. We had a wonderful time. If you don't have, if you missed out at the starting point of this Q&A, you can find the whole show live on, not live, but on demand on our website. And also, there will be a mint episode about this on our YouTube channel. Sally, you have the last word. Is there anything you want to add to the conversation?
Oh, no, just thank you, Cassandra, for this amazing time. Hopefully, this can inspire someone a little
Um,
bit at least.
it inspired
Uh,
me, at least me.
well, thank you. And also to that being able to be part of a community like the Argonauts, it's
Yeah,
something that it's really really good for an entrepreneur, and being able to talk and discuss and share with others, it's something that is really valuable, and we all need to benefit from this kind of situation. So thank you for that.
great words. Thank you, Sally. Have a great day.
The same for you. Have fun.
Bye.
Please.